Alright boys, so here we have a back of the truck repair video. Got this old Honda lawnmower that in need of some attention. And the first thing that's wrong with it, that's the most pressing, is it starts and it'll run for about a couple seconds and then it quits. Typically that means the carburetor at the very least needs to be cleaned out. So as you guys can see, I'm kind of pulling things apart here. And it's a 10 mil, which is pretty standard. Go ahead and remove that. And just remove these two 10 mil nuts. You got one more right here in the back. I think the prior owner was into this thing before because the bolt is fairly loose. Got a couple bushings in here, you just don't lose those. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it off of this. So now to remove the rest of the carburetor, it's pretty easy. As you can see, it's already loose. I am going to go ahead and clip off this fuel line that goes to the carburetor. So I've got a handy pair of vice grips. Just going to go ahead and clip that off. There's still going to be fuel in the bowl, so we have our really heavy duty gasket. Let's go ahead and set that aside. A couple linkages. I am going to go ahead and pull that small fuel line off, move that out of the way. This small fuel line that's right back in here goes to your shutoff valve. That's off and back. Go ahead and pull the line off completely. And now we can hopefully remove the carburetor. We get that linkage out. Our little wire linkage goes to our spring. That's off and out. And with a little bit of bending, that's out as well. So now that we have the carburetor completely disconnected, but I'm going to go ahead and empty out the bowl. Now, it's pretty typical. It's pretty dirty. The gas in here is kind of syrupy and just old and stale and nasty. I'm going to go ahead and clean the bowl out and remove the float. We have our float here. Just take the pin out like so. And just very carefully remove it because your needle is attached to it. Let's go ahead and set that down for the moment. Now what can often happen with these old plastic floats is they can become cracked and brittle over the time, and they can get fuel to leak inside them, which compromises what their job is to do, and that's to, basically vary the level of fuel inside the bowl. So how you check that is shake it really close to one of your ears. And I can't hear any fuel inside, so that's a good sign. Go ahead and throw that in our mag bowl. Now we can go ahead and inspect and look at the rest of the carburetor, which definitely does need to be cleaned. So I'll go ahead and get on that. I want to show you guys why I do something. As you can see on this old carburetor from this Honda, we're missing a piece right here. A little plug goes in here. And it just so happens that I kept that spare carburetor from the rototiller that I changed out for my dad, and it had that little plug in it, which looks like this. You guys can't really see that well in black gloves, but that's okay. So now that I got that plug, I'll go ahead and remove this little screw right here. I'm going to go ahead and clean that out though first. It's pretty dirty and nasty in there. It's not very difficult to clean out a carburetor. Usually you just, spray into all the different passageways and everything. Anything that can get dirty, spray it with carb cleaner. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Now the carburetor is all cleaned out. So I'm just going to do a final inspection. We got a little bit of filth right there. That's now been removed, cleaned out the throat really well, cleaned up the pickup tube really well. A little bit of corrosion down here, but not really too worried about that. So let's go ahead and throw it all back together after I clean the bowl out. Before we reinstall the carburetor, we'll go ahead and reinstall this plug. Grab our screw. Halfway, I think it'll be good enough. So let's go ahead and reinstall our carb. Install that linkage. Reinstall our spring. And our butterfly linkage as well. Back in like that. Don't worry, guys. This mower is going to get a nice bath once I can determine it's worth going any further with. Choke works. Off choke. And go ahead and lube up some of those linkages with some liquid wrench before I whip it all back together. Reconnect our air box. You know what, I'll go ahead and clean this out too. It's pretty dirty and filthy. There are two nuts back in. And snug them up a little bit. Not too much, you don't need much. And we have our last bolt here, which goes into the back. Alright. So let's go ahead and get it off the back of the truck and see if she'll give us a start. Now we'll see what's going to happen. See if she'll give us a start or not. Might need a little adjusting. Let's try again. Not bad. Just had to adjust the idle a little bit on the carburetor, but I'm happy. So with a little bit of work and effort, this is going to be a great running mower that'll hopefully sell for a good amount of money. They do here anyways, just in case those of you who are wondering. Need to adjust a few things on it, namely this wheel, which seems to be a little bit higher off the ground than the other wheels. I'm going to go ahead and paint this cover, scuff it up, and then paint it red again. I'm going to preserve the original stickers here. Let's put some tape over them before I paint them. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and replace this pull cord, which will be in a separate video. But overall, this should be a pretty nice mower once I'm done fixing it up. Got a few other things, like I've got to replace this one on this side, which I have a whole personal lawnmower junkyard, so that won't be difficult. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more.